welcome back. This is Cross Stitch the Globe. My name is Stephanie. Today, my partner in crime, Allison, is at work, and this is a Flosstube extra. Don't worry, she will be back on their next full Flosstube that we're gonna film over the weekend. But today I thought I would share the OwlForest Embroidery kit and haul that I got in the mail, and then go over, so I'm gonna go over what's in the kit that I got, go over the other haul that I got and the charts that go with that haul. And then I thought I would discuss some of the really cool free charts that they have available, because they have so many beautiful free charts. And then discuss a little bit of the other charts that I had my eye on, or if I ever get through what's in this box. And also discuss some of the floss tubes that have really inspired me when it comes to OwlForest embroidery, because there are some amazing floss tubers out there stitching beautiful OwlForest pieces. And I'd love to, if you haven't heard of OwlForest for some reason, or if you don't know where to go for OwlForest inspiration, I'll point you to these great floss tubers. So let's get started. First of all, if you are unfamiliar, OwlForest is, which is spelled all one word, which every time I type it up, I have Googled it to make sure that I'm right, but in English, it is all one word. And OwlForest is a company that is a cross-stitch designer out of Russia. So their full name in English is OwlForest Embroidery, but I think they only or mostly do cross-stitch. They might, I feel like I just looked at every single chart on their website multiple times and all of them were cross-stitch, but I might have missed a section on their website. Because of the war with Ukraine, some people choose not to order OwlForest embroidery kits or anything from their website, or go through the Etsy shop that I'll talk about later, where you can get some of their digital patterns. And if that's how you are choosing to show your support for Ukraine, I totally get it. I did think about whether or not to order from them. I decided ultimately that I actually supported a Russian writer that I really like via Patreon since the war started. And so I decided this was similar to that in terms of supporting small or smaller artists and small businesses that are reaching out to Western Europe and North America and who care about their relationship with them is ultimately, in my opinion, a good thing. It is totally okay if you feel a different way. I understand. I am a travel writer. I've lived in Eastern Europe and I've traveled around a lot of the former Soviet Union. I have actually not been to Russia, but I have been to Ukraine and written about it a lot. And so I understand completely if that's where you are. And if that's where you are, you can also download the free charts that we'll talk about, because you can download the free charts and not use their flosses at all, and they are still happy to have provided you with that. So there's lots of ways to approach OwlForest in the current political climate. For me, I decided I am not interested in punishing artists and very small businesses, like I said, that are so focused on relationships with the West, because that is such a big part of internal issues within Russia in terms of who supports the war and who doesn't. A lot of it is just people who have no relationship with the outside world being more fervently patriotic for the war. Anyway, this is a cross-stitch video. That was a lot of politics for a cross-stitch video, but just to share where I am, because I know for some people that's tricky. There are other Flosstube videos out there that show OwlForest embroidery kit unboxings, and I would be remiss not to mention that one of the inspirations for this video is Jana from the Stitchy Reader. I love her unboxing videos. She has, I've seen her do an OwlForest, a Chatelaine, and a Gecko Rouge unboxing. I love all of them. I do think eventually I want to stitch those two other companies, but like I just said, Eastern Europe, I lived in Eastern Europe for a long time, and Eastern European art is something I love. I also studied it in college. I was a Russian and Eastern European studies major for a really long time, up until the point where I could not finish the 4th semester of Russian language and had to change my major to creative writing and with a minor in economics instead of majoring in Russian and Eastern European Studies. Basically, I had all the credits I needed for everything except that one. So they were able to just, luckily, they were able to just shuffle everything around and I didn't end up having to stay longer. But I do think for someone who couldn't finish 4-semester Russian, the fact that I write about Eastern Europe professionally, I've written in National Geographic about Bulgaria, which is covered in Eastern European Studies. I do feel like I used all the coursework that I took. I just don't have the diploma in that. But all right, that's enough about me. Let's get into the kit, which is why you're here. Okay, so now I did order this from their website. Their website is in English and Russian. It's a .uk website. I don't really know if that means anything to most people. One thing to note is shipping is really expensive. So I was just gonna order one kit and try it out, but then I realized how expensive the shipping is. It's like 20, I think the shipping was like 20, it was somewhere between $19 and $23. And I cannot find, maybe it's in here, but I couldn't find the original receipt. But yeah, it probably is in here. Let me look and see. So whenever I was putting together my order and I just wanted the kit, the shipping was expensive. And then when I added a bunch of other stuff, it did not increase the shipping. Either the shipping was a flat rate or it stayed in the same like tier or weight class or whatever, adding a bunch of threads. So actually this does not have prices on it. So this shows it's in the kit, but it does not have the prices. So so I added a bunch of threads because it was like, if I'm gonna pay $20 to get this shipped from Russia, I might as well pay $20 and get a lot more shipped from Russia, figuring that if for some reason I hated stitching with the OwlForest thread packs, I could probably sell them for close or like about what I paid for them, considering that people would then not have to pay the $20 to get things shipped from Russia. So I thought, you know, there wasn't like a lot of risk in going ahead and trying everything out for myself. So and then when I was looking for a kit to buy, actually did not buy the kit that was the one that I was the most excited about, because the two kits that I was the most excited about were either sold out or they don't have a full kit for it. They do have a thread pack for it, but they didn't have like a kit set up. So the kit that I bought is actually a seasonal stitch I'm not going to start for a few months, but which we'll go into. But we'll do the kit first and then I'll go through everything else in this package. And they have a lot of bubble wrap. Sorry for the noise. I actually really like the sounds of like zipping and unzipping and stuff, and crinkling, and so that stuff never bothers me. I know that it does bother some people, so apologies for the bubble wrap sound. All right, so here is the kits. The kit I bought is Easter, and it's got those beautiful painted eggs. I have seen, so for those who aren't familiar with Russia and Eastern Europe and the former USSR, there are traditions that were like Slavic traditions that a lot of people in America think, America in the English, let's say in the English speaking world, because this is an English video, that have come to us as like, these are Russian things, like the Cyrillic alphabet. A lot of people call it like the Russian alphabet. I mean, a lot of these things are truly like pan-Slavic traditions or traditions that come out of even the Eastern Roman Empire. So painted Easter eggs, a lot of people do associate them with Russia or with the Eastern Orthodox Church. I've been to several many places where painted eggs are on display, or in museums. I've seen painted egg demonstrations. It's one of my favorite art forms. I actually owned one. I was gifted one on a press trip that I did in Romania, but it smashed because they don't travel really well. So I don't actually own any right now, but that's why I figured stitching some would be a way that I would have it all the time and I would never have to worry about smashing it on a bus in the middle of Transylvania. So This is called Easter. I'm not gonna start this kit until the spring. Orthodox, was raised Catholic. I'm not really anything, but when I do celebrate Easter, I celebrate the Western calendar for Easter, but the Orthodox calendar has different holidays on different days and is not the same across all versions of Orthodoxy, because there's like Bulgarian Orthodox and Romanian Orthodox and Russian Orthodox and Armenian Orthodox. So I will stitch this in the spring and probably put it away after Easter is celebrated in the United States, not a Slavic calendar, if that makes sense. And that's probably something nobody really cares about. So anyway, so I'm really excited about it. I think this is so pretty. So on the back it says, it has information in Russian, which is written in the Cyrillic alphabet. Then it has language in English, or the instructions in English. It says, size of finished work is 20.5 by 18.5 centimeters. Stitch and cross stitches, the area is 129 by 117. Number of cross stitches is 4988. Oh, that's nice. It's not gonna be huge. Maybe I can get it done this spring. Number of floss color 7. Now the floss that are in it, they do an over dye, and you can either choose like a Russian, so there's a Russian company that's similar to DMC that they over dye, and then they also over dye DMC. DMC is actually a French company. So I don't know the name of the Russian company. I can't remember. I think it's something like Nova or something. All right, the kit contains 32 count Zweigart Belfast. One thing to note, the kits usually have 32 count fabric. I think they always do. And from what I've seen from some other floss tubers, and is that the fabric size they give you is really limited in terms of border, and some people have even run out. So before I put one stitch in this piece of fabric, I'm gonna make sure that it's actually gonna fit this design, and if it doesn't, I'll use it on something else. When you get the thread packs by themselves, you can let them know if you're gonna do it on 28 count. I think they have 28, 30, 32, 36, and maybe 40. I think they also, you can choose between 1, 2, and even I think 3 strands on 25 count. And that way they know how much to give you, and then they're priced accordingly. So like 1 strand on 36 is cheaper than 2 strands on 28. All right, so this comes with hand-dyed threads based on DMC, needle for embroidery. It's a number 26 needle. Color, which is actually funny because I own a lot of 24s because I have mostly stitched right now on 14 count Aida and 28 count linen and 28 count Lugana. So I'm fairly new. I started cross stitching this summer. If you're new here, I started cross stitching this summer, and my sister has been cross stitching for years and years. So I have been doing mostly 14 count or 28 count and a 24 needle, and then I bought size 28 needles, which I showed on our last video where I showed what we got at the Silver Needle in Tulsa when we went, because that's our local needle workshop. So I don't actually have a number 26 needles, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if OwlForest needles, I don't know their quality, so we'll see, but I would imagine they would be good. I have not gotten into the world of fancy needles really yet, or tried one, so I don't know the difference. As long as it's as good as a box store needle, I'll be fine. Colored symbol printed chart, additional printed chart divided into fragments, a needle minder that all their kits come with a needle minder that's kind of matched to the project, which I think is sweet. And then it says like the size of the chart and stuff. And the designer for this design is Galina Egorenkova. And it's got a cute little sticker. And the bubble wrap is the tape, not the bubble wrap itself, but the tape has OwlForest on it, which is cute. Okay, so let's actually physically unbox it. I love the sound of cardboard. I'm sorry if it's a problem. So this is what's in the kit. Let's look at the fabric first. So it is a Zweigart. So if you don't want to buy the whole kits and you just want to get the thread packs. I don't know if you don't get a kit and you get the thread, if how much less the shipping would be. And I don't know. So here's the 32 count Belfast Zweigart linen. I don't know. And it is serged all the way around. I don't know if the shipping cost would be less on the thread packs than if you get a kit. I think the shipping is kind of a flat rate thing based on the fact that they have to go to such great lengths to get it from Russia to the United States. They have to go through a third-party company that's called Box Must Go On My Way International Shipping. So I don't know. And I won't need to buy new thread for quite a while, as I'm not going to finish the 6. So I got a chart and I got thread packs for 5 other charts. So it's going to take me a while to get through these. So that's the linen. Like I said, I'm going to measure it. I could, if it's not going to fit, I'll save that for something else. I could get the exact same. I could probably find this exact same linen. I don't think Zweigart 32 count is like unusual. If I buy my own linen, I might switch to 28 count. Risking the thread, I don't know. I might not be able to do that because I don't think the thread packs, I would think it would be the same, but I don't know. Like, I would think that it would be the same thread pack that they sell for if you order it, because the 32 and the 28 are usually the same price, but I don't know. So here are the threads. Look how pretty those are. And they're over dyed DMC, so you can see, especially like in this one, you can see the variegation in this one really well, and in this one. And in this one, I mean, actually, I think in all of them except maybe the 2 in the middle, all the other ones, I think even on the camera is showing really good variegation. Oh, they're so pretty. Oh, I'm obsessed with them. Okay. And I went ahead and ordered these before I'd really paid attention to if other people were using the thread, but multiple people have talked about on their Flosstubes about how great the thread is and how pretty they are. I just was watching Samantha, the Hugo Stitcher's latest video, and she mentioned specifically how great the thread is. So it comes tied with twine to a cardboard bobbin, and the cardboard bobbin has the symbol on it. And I have seen some people say that when you actually bobbinate it, the symbol gets covered up. I just got a couple of thread keeps from Stitchy Box. I got it from their sale. I haven't showed it yet on the channel because I'm going to do it in the next video, but I might use this project for that and just label them myself. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll bobbinate one and see what happens, but I can't imagine spending the time to bobbinate on a cardboard because bobbinating just takes so long. And then unbobbinating at the end of the project and moving them to plastic bobbins. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that is the thread. All the projects come with a cute little needle minder that is, all the kits come with a needle minder that is matched to the project. And this one is a little Easter egg, a painted egg. It's so pretty. And when this is done, I can easily see that being put on a lot of Easter projects going forward. And not the most exciting thing in the world, but the needle. I do want to hold on to it though, because it'd be nice to not have to buy another 26 needle. The thread packs I got for the rest of these pieces are all for, I bought the 28 count order. I have a really hard time seeing 28 count. I have to wear magnifiers just to see 28 count because my apartment is so dark. So I'm just not really ready. I mean, the higher thread counts, I'm excited to try, but I was not ready to commit to 6 pieces in higher than 28. All right. It also comes with this booklet, which is their little logo. And in this booklet is the how to cross stitch. Oh, it's a guide to cross stitching with variegated threads so that you get the most out of it. And I'm working with variegated threads on other projects already, so I have been watching and learning just to make sure that I get the most out of it. I'm doing an artsy housewife because, like I said, I'm new to cross stitch, so it's not like I've done a ton with variegated threads. So I've bought a lot of variegated threads because I've kitted up a lot of things. But I have gotten used to that. And actually, I changed my whole stitching style to, so you have the English method, which is do the full cross. You have the Danish method, which is do half the cross, half stitch across and then come back. And I have a really hard time when I stitch with variegated threads switching when I was doing the Danish method, like doing the full like row and then back the row. And so I ended up switching every stitch I do to full crosses so that I wouldn't have to think about it again. Now with variegated threads, I still need to think about like placing it, and do I want to do vertical stripes or horizontal or spirals, but or random. But I did, like, when I started using variegated threads, I did change my entire style, which probably is overkill, but I have an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old. I don't have a lot of extra brain power at the moment. So anything I can do to make my life better. So this is the chart. It's really beautiful. So and it also, so they have, I'm not going to show the whole thing, but you have the pattern, and you have the key, and then the key has the OwlForest color number, which does not match the DMC number. They're different. And then you have the OwlForest name, what they have named. The names of the threads in this are Misty Dale, Blue Hydrangea, Cherry Compote, Apple Blossom, Pink Coraline, and Antique Gold, which are beautiful. Shades of color of the finished product may differ from the image on the box cover. The manufacturer reserves the right to change the shades of threads and the fabric. Package may include sections of threads with at least a length of 120 centimeters. We recommend choosing a frame to having your work finished. So the chart comes into, oh, I did not realize it was sitting like that, but I don't think you could do this chart from there. So do not do that. So it has, this one is a full color chart. And then this one is, you could cut out, I'll just show this little corner. So you could cut out the little pieces of the pattern and put them together if you wanted to do it in, my guess is like if you only want to take part of the pattern with you or something, I don't know. I don't know. I don't work with paper patterns very much. When I do work with a paper pattern, I've only done one piece where I didn't end up bringing it into, that's not true. I have never stitched a paper pattern off a paper pattern. I've always put it into my iPad. Usually I put it into Markup XP. I did put one or two, I put two into Goodreads before I switched to Markup XP. I know some people like Goodreads. I did not ultimately like using it for tracking stitches, but it works. I have not done a paper pattern on the paper. I actually even thought about like, this is like a big, beautiful pattern. I probably will be able to scan this pretty easily, but if it didn't scan and work right, I was thinking I would download the digital pattern because it would be $5 more, and I just don't like not being able to track things correctly. I like the stats, but more importantly, I like not getting lost. Like I said, I have almost no brain power, and my kids are wonderful, but like little chaos monsters. And so the less things and accoutrements and whatever I have out, the better. I tend to like have everything in a project bag, my stitching here, my iPad like on a lap or right beside me. And then that way, if my son runs up, he can't steal my threads. He will steal scissors, he will steal thread, like ring packs and bobbins, but he will also steal like individual threads if he sees them. I even my Ort jar, I even completely close it every time I use it, which is annoying, so that he doesn't take it, because if he took it, then there would be thread all over my living room. So I might go ahead and buy the digital pattern if my scan doesn't work right. So that's what's in the kit. I'm really excited. This one is going to be beautiful, and it's going to be perfect for spring. And so now let me go through the other thread packs that I bought. So I bought thread packs for 5 other charts, and then I bought one other needle minder. I really wanted to buy every needle minder on their website, but I was strong and did not. It was really hard, but I just couldn't justify, because the thing about OwlForest is that each piece is pretty inexpensive for what you get, but when you do a whole lot, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, how does $2 and $3 add up to that? So I took all the needle minders out of my cart except for one, but I'll show you the one I did get. And this one I'm really excited about, because this is actually, oh, well, let me show you first. Oh. It does not want to come out. Okay, so it is the Cyrillic letter that looks to most people who speak English like a backwards R. It is a ya. It is pronounced ya in most, well, I said that pretty hick. Yeah, like yeehaw. Yeah, like, and it is in many, I don't know if in all, but in many Slavic language, it is the word for I is ya. And then, so if you wanted to say like, I love you in Russian, you say ya to ba. Okay, well, now that I'm trying to say it, now that I'm like trying to say it and knowing people are watching me, theoretically, I feel stupid, but ya tebya lublю is a very bad accent on the Russian I love you. If you are Russian, I apologize for my accent. Like I said, I could not finish the 4th semester, but this is my favorite Cyrillic letter. I'll talk more about why I love the Cyrillic alphabet so much later, but I actually really in college wanted to get this letter tattooed on my body, and actually the only tattoo I have is not from Russia, but it's from Israel. But so I did not get it tattooed, but I literally wanted a tattoo of this. So a needle minder is like a really good second. You'll also see, like, if you see signs like I love New York or like I love London, and you know, you'll see like touristy, like I heart NY or I heart in Malaysia. I saw one that was like I heart Kuala Lumpur. In this area called Transnistria, which is not, I call it Transnistria. A lot of people call it Transnistria. In Transnistria, I don't remember what they call themselves. Maybe Transnistria Republic. But there's this part of Moldova that is split off politically, and there I saw like the sign, but it was like instead of an I heart, it was a ya and then a heart. I'll put a picture. Theoretically, I've been putting up lots of pictures right here of different things I've talked about, but I don't know if I actually have been yet, because that's in the future. So that's the needle minder I got. And I got it because the big chart that I'm really excited about working on is this thread pack might not go to anything that I ordered. We'll see. That would be really funny. Okay, I ordered. This I ordered. This I ordered. Do they call? Okay, now I'm gonna look it up. Because on the website, it's Alyon. Okay. So, oh, real time. Okay, so Alyonushka's alphabet is this big, beautiful sampler of the Cyrillic alphabet that I bought. Okay, this is, yeah, okay. I definitely did order. Okay, so I ordered, this is, okay. Yeah, my address isn't on here. Okay, so I ordered the thread pack for it's Alyonushka's alphabet, which is like a beautiful Cyrillic sampler. And I got that needle miter to go with it. And on here it says that it should have, it's in Russian though, so this is a little tricky, but it says 3 belly is white, 2 cherny sedinoi. I think cherny is black, so I think that would be black, but I don't know all of these colors, but there should be, and this said it's for red and black sampler. So I'll have to look up later and see if it's the same that I picked. I don't think it is because I'll put up the picture, but I'm pretty sure that it has, I'm pretty sure that it has multiple colors because it has a lot of golds in it. And I just saw it again this morning, so I don't think they've like taken it off, and it's on my order. So I'll deal with that later. So if you want to know the mystery of the red and black thread pack, we'll find out later. So we're gonna film a Flosstube this weekend, so I'll look into this today and figure that out. So I did get, I am gonna stitch Alyonushka's alphabet because it is this gorgeous Cyrillic sampler. I like the samplers that have the English, the Latin alphabet on them. I do, I think, and I will probably stitch multiple ones. I just showed in our last Flosstube video, the Sisters 3 pin keep, and it has the alphabet on it. I'm sure I will stitch it many times over, but I love the Cyrillic alphabet. I studied Russian in college, like I said, partially because I was just so enchanted by the Cyrillic alphabet. When I lived in Bulgaria, my husband and I's first house apartment was on Kirill E. Metody Street, and Kirill and E. Metody are the states Cyril and Methodius in English, and they are the two Bulgarian, possibly Macedonian, but that's a different political debate for a different political time, but they're the two Bulgarian monks who created the Cyrillic alphabet. And it is the alphabet that was used by Old Church Slavonic, and it is the alphabet that became the one used for most Slavic languages. Not all. There are some places, like, basically if you could have a Slavic peoples that were Catholic and they used the Latin alphabet, and you could have Slavic peoples that were Orthodox and used the Cyrillic alphabet. So it's not really about ethnicity, it's more about where the religion spread. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, I have a very strong affinity to the Cyrillic alphabet. It is a big part of my personal history, and so I really love this big gorgeous sampler, and these are not the threads for that, so that'll be interesting. I'll contact them. I did wait a couple weeks to, so I ordered the pack on August 26th, and I was going to tell you guys this anyway, and it came, and I received it on September 15th, and today is September 27th. So I did wait a few days to open it, but I haven't like reviewed it or anything and said like, oh, everything's good to go. So I should be able to. I don't know what the solution will be, so I will come back to it. On my next Flosstube, I'll tell you an update. All right, the other big, like, year-round piece that I'm really excited about is Pushkin's. It's called Pushkin's Tales, and it is like not the most beautiful piece that OwlForest has, because OwlForest has some of the most beautiful pieces, but I love Pushkin. He's one of my favorite authors. If you've never read anything by him, I've never read him in Russian. I've read him in translation in English, but it is beautiful. And I actually, when I was in Chisinau, Moldova, like went to a house that he lived at for a while. And wrote one of his most famous poems there. I just love Pushkin, and so I'm excited to stitch this and stitch it while I'm watching like every like movie version of any like Russian, like not specifically movies based on Pushkin's tales, because it's very difficult to find in English films that are based on Pushkin, and I would not be able to watch subtitled movies while stitching, but so I'll use it to watch a variety of English films that are about Russia. Maybe I'll rewatch The Americans, but also maybe listen to a lot of Pushkin's books on audiobook. I just love him. And he's, you know, considered by Russia to be like the Shakespeare of Russian literature. I don't know if that's a stretch or not. He just was not as prolific as Shakespeare, and he died much younger. He died in a duel. He was kind of a crazy, I think, gambling alcoholic. But his books or his poems are beautiful. And his contributions to like Russian folklore, or getting Russian folklore and Slavic folklore stories that were oral and putting them into like a written tradition in the way that Shakespeare did a lot of like histories, and just beautiful. So even though it's not the most beautiful piece in the world, it's got a lot of well, I'm hopefully probably showing the picture of it, but I'm super excited about it. And this is one, so this and the Cyrillic alphabet sampler are the two that I'm going to stitch year round for, you know, 30, however long it takes until they get done. And those threads are really beautiful. All right, so, and again, all the thread packs come with the cardboard bobbins on twine. All right, so the next one, so I have 3 more thread packs. So the Easter is a seasonal spring piece, and then I ordered thread packs for 2 autumn pieces and 1 summer piece. And then I bought a pattern separately that I didn't buy a thread pack for because I didn't see it until later. That is a winter piece. So I have my 2 that I can stitch on forever, like literally maybe forever. And then I have 1 for every season, 1 or 2 for every season. So this is the threads for Summer in the Village. Summer in the Village is a free chart. So one of the things I'll talk about in a little while are all the free charts that OwlForest has that I really like. But this is a free chart, but I did go ahead and buy the thread pack for it because it's so pretty. Oh, one of the other things is that Alyonushka's alphabet, that alphabet like was the most expensive thread pack because it has so many threads. It's like was like $60 for just the thread pack, and those black and reds do not look like they come close. So we'll see what happens. I wasn't going to start that one this week or anything anyway, so it's not like it changes my plans. Just want to make sure that I get it or get my money back, and I can buy I guess local overdyes. But now that I'm seeing these threads, I'm more obsessed with the idea of stitching all these with their threads than ever, because these threads are beautiful. So that was my summer piece, Summer in the Village, and it's a free chart. And then these 2 autumn pieces are also both free charts. So I bought the chart for Pushkin Sales. I bought Alyonushka's alphabet. These were Summer in the Village. And these 2 autumn pieces were free charts. And then, okay, so this is Pumpkin Carriage. These are the threads for Pumpkin Carriage. How beautiful. I didn't realize that the orange on the pumpkin was done with such a hugely variegated, like gold to yellow and gold to red threads. That's just so beautiful. And then the last thread pack I bought is for Pretty Pumpkins. And this is the piece that I do want to start. I was planning on starting on Friday. So I'm filming this on a Wednesday and I'm going to start this on Friday, hopefully. I haven't fully picked out the fabric yet because I wanted to wait and see what the threads look like, but I have a stash of fabric that I have built up because I'm on fabric websites too often and I've just bought too much fabric, and so it's a good idea to just get it assigned to some pieces and get going. So that's all the thread packs. I'm in love with them. Oh, they're so beautiful. Okay, so let me put those over here. And then a couple other things I want to go over, although this video was already way longer than I thought it was going to be. So Pushkin's Tales is obviously based on Russian literature. One of the cool things about OwlForest is they have a lot of pictures that are based on English and American literature. So if you like the idea of doing something from them that is literary, but you're not into Pushkin himself as an author, they also have a triptych on Pride and Prejudice, which I'm excited about. They have literary stitch-alongs that they have released the last few years that are available. So the Pride and Prejudice are free. The literary stitch-alongs are, Pride and Prejudice are paid charts. The literary stitch-alongs are free. I have downloaded them all. I downloaded every free chart that I liked from them just in case one day they decide to put it all behind a paywall. But they have one for Emerald City from The Wizard of Oz, so American literature. And then they have Treasure Island and Alice in Wonderland. And Treasure Island is the one that's this year, so the whole thing is not released yet, but you can still go get all the pieces that have been released up to now. Then the other pattern that I bought on the Etsy shop for OwlForest. My Russian pronunciation is bad. My French pronunciation is the worst. But OwlForest, I'm pretty sure it's French for OwlForest Embroidery or OwlForest, on Etsy is how they are selling digital patterns on Etsy, because I don't believe Etsy works with Russia anymore. So they're outsourcing it to somebody in France who's doing it. And I bought Winter Birds, which is this, I showed it on our last Flosstube, but it's this beautiful group of eight Christmas ornaments that, they're Christmas ornaments, but you could also stitch them up not Christmas because they're very blue and red, not green and red. So if you wanted them to be more just winter and not Christmas, I am viewing them as Christmas ornaments, and I'm going to stitch, hopefully stitch at least one of them, hopefully at least finish one of them in December, but we'll see. And so those are all of the charts and thread packs that I have actual plans to stitch. Then the other free chart, like I said, I downloaded every free chart I like, but some of the highlighted ones that I want to show you guys that are beautiful are fairy tale houses, 100 owls. You see 100 owls being stitched by a lot of people, and it is really cool. I don't know if everyone realizes, or let me take that back. I'm new, so I did not realize that fairy tale houses was a free pattern until I was stalking their website and looking at every single pattern they had. Christmas Tree Decorations Cats and Owls is a free set of ornaments that are super cute and that are cats and owls, and the cats have arrived is really great. You see OwlForest Embroidery, all their charts, they have a lot of charts with specific themes, and one of the themes they have is, or one of the things they do a lot is cats and funny situations. All right, the paid charts that I have not bought and have no business buying, because as you see, I have a lot of OwlForest plans already that I have bought, but that I have my eye on are Brooks. The church in this looks so much like a Bulgarian monastery that I visited because Bulgarian churches and Russian churches are not the same, though there are Russian churches in Bulgaria that were built in the Russian style. The styles are different. It has to do with like the shape of the onion domes and stuff. But this one picture looks so much like a church that I went to in Russia, like a monastery they went to in Russia, and wrote about. Then autumn flowers, Christmas. I'm just gonna flash these up here. So autumn flowers, Christmas birds, patchwork calendar. I'm not going to talk about all these or this video will take forever. Gingerbread town, which is so sweet. Vintage kitchen, obsessed. Swan Lake. I'm not a huge Swan Lake person, but I do really love the way that this is done. Maybe, I think that that movie Black Swan, maybe, is that the name of it? I don't know. That Aronofsky movie kind of tainted me on Swan Lake, but I think I should get back into it because this picture makes me want to watch Swan Lake. Bewitched Swamp, Carrot Forest, at the railway station. I've ridden a lot of trains around Eastern Europe, a lot of trains that you can tell were either created during the Soviet Union or during communism or before, based on whichever country I was in. Because like if you were in Russia, or not Russia, if you were in like Romania or Bulgaria, a lot of things were influenced by the way the Soviet Union did them, but you were actually in a satellite, like this country was a satellite state, so things are not exactly the same, but they remind me so much of it. A Little House at the North Pole, Firebird, October Mood, Easter Miniatures, and Mushroom Houses. They're all so pretty. I could not finish, I don't think I could finish all of that in a lifetime if I only stitched that. Though if I only stitched OwlForest, I don't think I could get through all of this, but because some of them are really big, but they're all so pretty. All right, and then I want to talk about some other floss tubes that you should definitely check out if you're interested in OwlForest embroidery, because these people have all inspired me. So like I said, Jana from the Stitchy Reader, she had the first time I ever heard about OwlForest was I was watching her OwlForest embroidery kit unboxing, similar to this one. This is totally inspired by that one. And she unboxes the kit for Strawberry Summer. I think she stitches on it in a couple floss tubes as well. She hasn't posted a video in a while. I hope she comes back because I love her channel so much, and I love so much of what she's stitching on has inspired. Like, I didn't realize all of the variety and beauty of cross stitch patterns until I started watching her channel, because she was like the very first floss tube channel that I came across that wasn't just instructional videos. 100 Owls. So Sarah from Stitchy Friends, and she's I'll tag she's stitching 100 Owls, and her and Allie from Allie Z is Crafty created the hashtag OwlForest Fridays. So that's why I'm gonna start my OwlForest on Friday, because it's a good excuse to force myself to start it. And she's stitching 100 Owls. Allie Z from Allie Z is Crafty. I don't know if she's currently stitching anything from OwlForest, because I just watched her Mirabilia video, which is such a good video. But she has been talking about, she and some of her stitchy friends are gonna start a borscht, the OwlForest borscht chart, which is a really beautiful chart. And they're gonna do that together. I think they also ordered things from Russia. So it just, if you want to start something and you want to use their threads, just know you can't start it for like a month, but that gives you time to like get ready. So she's gonna start borscht, so I can't wait to see how that progresses. Samantha from the Huga Stitcher, I already mentioned, I think, that she is doing the Treasure Island stitch along, and she is showing her progress. And I literally just saw her most recent video today with her progress, and that is really cool. I don't think I would do the Emerald City and the Alice in Wonderland in like a heartbeat. I think I would need to see if somebody ever comes up with like a Muppet Treasure Island conversion once the full chart is out, and I would stitch that. Like, I never read Treasure Island, like the book, but Treasure Island the movie, I think I've read it condensed, like one of those like classic condensed books for Treasure Island. But Emerald City, I lived in Kansas for a long time, so the Wizard of Oz is very popular there. I went to the University of Kansas. And then Alice in Wonderland, was like, when I was living in Bulgaria, I had my son when we were living in Bulgaria, and I couldn't find any like kids book in English, so I bought some like novels in English and Alice in Wonderland. So when he was like 8 weeks old, I like read him all of Alice in Wonderland at bedtime over the course of like a month, and he does not remember it, but I do. So that book will always be really special to me. And then Sarah from I Swear I Am Stitching is currently stitching, I believe. I have not watched her, I'm one video behind, so I don't think she's finished yet. The Monster Wonder Whale, which is really beautiful. And definitely something, she's got like a couple of patterns going on, and my son is obsessed with sea creatures. So if he happens to be in the room when her videos are playing, he will kind of peek up and be like, what sea creature is that? So she has, I think, 2 pieces with whales, because I don't think she's finished with Monster Wonder Whale yet, though I could be wrong because I am a video behind. And then she also has another whale project. So definitely check out her. And then Bridget, the museum stitcher, she's finished with this, but in her 2023 mid-year whip parade, at the front end of the video, she shows some of her finishes from the last year, and Bayou Cat is one of her finishes, and it is really beautiful. And that's not a comprehensive list of all of the stitchers out there who I've seen who have stitched OwlForest. Those are just the ones that that I specifically was like, took note of while they were stitching them, like, oh, that's a beautiful pattern, let me write that pattern down. Or Samantha, even though I'm not interested in that specific pattern that she's doing, her work on it is gorgeous. And also I love how excited and enthusiastic she is about OwlForest and how much she talks about it. I love all of these channels. So definitely, if you're interested in learning or seeing more OwlForest, definitely go check those out. And wow, this video is longer than I thought it was going to be. We'll see how long it is once I shake everything out. So you can find me on Instagram at CrossStitchTheGlobe. Allison will be back on our next Flosstube, and she is Allison at the moment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to see our videos in your feed. Go ahead and like this video so that it pops up on other people's feeds as something they might be interested in watching. We'd love if you left a comment and say hi. And then if you are stitching any OwlForest or have stitched any OwlForest, or if any of these patterns are ones you want to stitch, leave it in the comments, because I'd love to chat a little bit more about OwlForest with you guys. And yeah, I'm just gonna awkwardly press stop on the video now. Bye.